The world is a lot right now. With all that is going on out there, we might wonder, what are we doing here? What are we doing in this room, singing and reading archaic poetry, some of which we might not like the message of, standing and sitting when we are told, creating pomp and ceremony, on some night of the year when the rest of the world is still going on at regular speed into whatever chaos will be revealed tomorrow? How can we be stopping when there is so much to do, so much to fix, so much to shout about? Aren't we supposed to be out praying with our legs, or at least doing our homework? How can we come into this service that is about time itself, marking the cycles of the earth, when we are missing out on the latest headlines, the latest scores, the latest texts in the chain? Or, alternatively, what are we doing to ourselves, sitting here purposefully reflecting, when for so many of us, thinking too much about all that is going on is exactly what we've been trying so hard to avoid? However we have been dealing with the too muchness of the world, many of us are sitting here tonight aware of our fears. Fears about what might be happening out there if we stop watching, even for a few minutes. Fears about what we might find is happening inside us if we pause long enough to notice and feel. So many of us are entering this Rosh Hashanah feeling helpless about all the things that we simply cannot respond to fast enough or fix, or that just feel so far beyond our control. So many of us are coming into this new year aware of our broken hearts. So what are we doing here when the world of out there and the world of in here are just too much? Of course, I think that asking these very questions is a big part of why we're here tonight and throughout the holy days. We are here because the world is so much, because there's so much to make us afraid. We are here because our hearts are broken, and because it is so hard to let ourselves feel that, and maybe even harder to let ourselves admit how much we feel. I know that we don't all share in the same elements of heartbreak and trepidation, but for me, in addition to personal losses that are real, my heart is breaking and my soul is trembling for such things as that America and its people are pitted against each other right now, and that the core tenets I believe let us come here and thrive here are being stripped away. That Israel, which was our dream and inspiration for thousands of years as a land, and for 3/4 of a century more as a country, that country and its people are in pain, and I think are inflicting terrible pain and damage beyond measure in return. My heart breaks and I feel helpless that our science isn't trusted, that our people aren't trusted, that lies are held up as truth and that truths are being twisted to sound like lies. I feel broken and made afraid by the ways that I think the protection of us as the Jewish people has been used as an excuse to do terrible harms, while at the same time the existence and impacts of real anti-Jewish bias are denied again and again. I feel heartbreak and fear as people are being taken off the street, boats are being sunk, and families separated without the reasoning and controls of due process, and that people are being shot by individuals who believe it is their right to avenge their own perceived wrongs, to name a few. The list may be different for you. For you, I may not have said enough, or I may have gone far too far. But I think that most of us are feeling the pain of the world right now, and the fear in and for the world right now. And that whether we agree on the problems or their causes, it hurts just the same. We say that Rosh Hashanah is the birthday of the world, Hayom Harat Olam, and truly creation is a thing worth celebrating because so much of what we experience is truly awe-inspiring. However this world came to be, whether in 6 days or 5 billion years worth of days, how extraordinary that it is what it is, containing marvels from mountains to molecules, the intricacies and the wide expanses. But this world whose birthday we are celebrating is not perfect and it is not whole. And for all of us humans who live here, our humanity is both our gift and our downfall. In our Jewish tellings of this world's birth, our different stories say, before light was spoken into being, the chaos of tohu vavohu was everywhere, threatening to unmake any order that arose. Before the world was even formed, the vessels of God's light burst and broke, scattering shards throughout creation. Before the world was even finished, there was already the snake in the garden, causing us to question and learn and experience pain. Before we could even build a tower together, our very language drove us apart. Before we even could figure out right from wrong, the waters rose and we had to begin again. We were strewn and shattered before we could even start. So we come to the birthday of the world, saying it as it is. The world is extraordinary, and we are extraordinary in it. The world is imperfect, and we are imperfect within it. The world is so much, and our hearts break with it, and our souls tremble because of it. We come here tonight to feel that and to share in it together. In all that we agree and disagree, all of us texts together on the page, to experience the exquisite beauty and the heartbreak and fear that are ours both individually and as a whole, to make sure that we are attentive and aware, not shying away from it all, to feel joy in the sanctity of what brings us together, to be awakened to the precariousness of our very being. Each of us has done things this past year, this last week, perhaps this last hour, that we didn't intend, or that we intended only to realize that what we had set out to do was not what we should have aimed for in the first place. We had seen only part of what we needed to see. If only we could each be so attentive, so aware of the space between the notes in the music, that we could say only what we mean to say in the way that we mean to say it. If only we could each be so stable in our footing that we would never stumble along our path. If only we could see both the largest map and the detail of what is needed at every place. And yet, even if we were so attuned, to be so sure of our path would mean never to make way for someone else, never to learn from the experience of being bruised or tripping. To be so sure of our melody would mean never to hear that our music clashes with another's, or that someone else offered a song that had never been heard before. We encounter, and so we feel, and so we learn. And isn't that the essence of Teshuvah, the holy days reminder to return? Having these moments of encounter so that we can realize that we need to reorient and retune ourselves again and again. Isn't Teshuvah to recognize our own shadows, to acknowledge that we are stumblers and strugglers, to admit to ourselves that we need to practice, not so that we will attain perfection, but so that we can retain the ability to return to the song that we love in the first place? Sometimes Teshuvah is walking along the path and realizing that the shortcuts we tried and the detours we took will not get us to where we wanted to go. And other times, Teshuvah is taking a detour and realizing that it leads to the much better destination that we wish we had aimed for all along. Teshuvah is possible because of our stumbling, because we are broken, and because we are afraid. we return ourselves and return to ourselves not by sticking to the only one right way, as if there was one, but by keeping our eyes open, noticing what we are carrying with us and who we are traveling with, resting when we need to, allowing ourselves to be informed by our fears but not overcome by them, motivated by our yearnings but aware of their costs, and then realizing that that was only one step and that it's time to take another. Our fault is not in having strayed out of our way, but in denying that we might have strayed at all. There is an ancient rabbinic story that says that after the Israelites let themselves be so ruled by their fears that they built the golden calf, after Moses came down from the mountain with the tablets of the 10 Commandments and was so overwhelmed by the people's wrongdoing that he smashed those tablets that he had received directly from God, that after he went up the mountain again to bring down a new set of the commandments that he had to inscribe himself, that the Israelites went on to carry both the broken set of tablets and the new whole tablets with them in the ark that was the center of their camp, that they carried with them whenever they set forth. They carried the very pieces of their own fear and brokenness with them through the wilderness, not denying the wrongs they had done, not denying where fear had led them, but not by being stopped by those broken pieces either. My friend and colleague, Rabbi Lauren Grabel Herman, writes that the pieces of those broken tablets must have been heavy. They must have triggered feelings of shame and embarrassment, yet those broken pieces were given the highest seat of honor. Our broken places are part of us, she writes, and it is our job to cherish them and hold them with tenderness, honor them as real, authentic, and integral to who we are. So tonight we bring our broken pieces along with us, our pain and our fears. We do not have it all figured out. We don't have the strength, wisdom, or power to fix it all on our own. And even if we did, where would we even begin? Because the world is so much right now. So we are here tonight to allow our hearts to break together, and so to begin to repair and return, to feel the fear and to acknowledge the pain, and to offer ourselves and each other sustenance and comfort for the journeys we are on. Though we may be afraid, we do not have to be ruled by those fears and do not need to make ourselves even more so. We remind ourselves to focus on this step and this one and the next one to find out that we can. And we remind ourselves that though we are broken, we are complete as well. Each new day, able to bring light and to do good, able to feel gratitude and find joy, and to remember that the world in its brokenness, too, can be healed and brought to light when we make it so. Shana Tova.